episode of Listen to Us Rant About Movies. My name is Wes Ford.
And I'm Zach Harris.
And today we're going to be reviewing the new film, Midnight Special. And before we get to that, we're going to try a new beer. We each got something separate this time. And then we'll go into some movies that we've been watching since our last episode. And then the review, followed by a spoiler review of the film.
Oh yeah.
If this is your first time listening to the show, you can find more of our episodes on iTunes, Podomatic, and YouTube. Also, you can follow us on Facebook. You can also email us at listentousrantaboutmovies@gmail.com. And you can follow us on Twitter at LTURAM podcast. So, Zach, what beer did you pick out for this episode?
I have got Pipeworks Brewing from right here in Chicago, Illinois. And it's called Close Encounters. It's a hopped stout.
Nice. Hop stout.
It's got kind of a nice sexy alien chick on the cover, and then a choking spaceman and the girl's holding his mask, and there's lipstick things all over it. And then he's suffocating. Interesting logo.
Very interesting. That sounds... that's funny. You're the stout man, so...
Yeah, I'm a little stout man, and I figure, Close Encounters, a little Spielberg influence in this film,
There you go. I chose Rebirth Pale Ale by the Nola Brewing Company. And Rebirth, kind of similar to some themes in the film that we're going to be reviewing. Plus, it takes place in the South, so thought that was somewhat applicable to the film. Mm-hmm. And it says here on the back, all proceeds from the beer goes to the Roots of Music, empowering New Orleans youth while preserving our musical heritage.
Hell yeah.
So I'm doing some good for them NOLA youths out there.
Yeah, good biz. Always nice when companies do that,
Yeah,
Why not?
So let's give it a little taste.
Yeah, let's get going. Nice. How's yours tasting?
I like it. It's a pale ale, so it's not too hoppy, but obviously a little hoppy, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
I like pale ales, so
Nice.
it's good.
Yeah, I'm liking mine too. It's very interesting. It's like a light stout that's bitter.
Interesting.
It's very it seems like very drinkable stout, Sometimes
not
it's
too
like you're slamming a stout and like that's it, filled up.
Yeah, you're done after one, so it's not too heavy.
Yeah, it's like a light IPA or a dark IPA. I mean, it's like a light stout or dark IPA.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is like a very light IPA. Totally, I could totally chug some of these. They're very drinkable.
Hell yeah.
All right, good stuff. All right, so what have you been watching since the last cast?
Well, I haven't seen too much. It's just in Philadelphia,
Yeah, I have admittedly not watched much either. So
yeah, I did a couple rewatches. I rewatched Der Fan actually with my girlfriend.
Nice.
And her friends. Good rewatch. Rewatched The Lobster. Man, oh man, The Lobster.
I need to watch it.
Yeah, dude, it's super great. I think it's out soon, if not like started limited at this point.
Nice, yeah, makes sense.
Rewatched Star Wars. Got that baby blue.
Oh yeah, for sure. I rewatched Star Wars as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
How's it sitting?
It's great. Oh, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's the best.
It looked great on Blu-ray.
It looked super good. And I like that, they kept that whole disc. Just like fill that disc all with the movie,
Oh yeah.
Get that super high bit rate, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. You check out the special features?
I haven't yet, actually. I need to.
They're pretty cool, man.
Yeah, lots of good stuff.
I watched the full-length documentary that they have on there.
Oh yeah, it's like super long.
It's like, yeah, it's a full-length documentary about the making of Force Awakens.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's really well done. It's
Hell yeah.
I don't know if you saw, but before the movie was released, they kind of released some like a kind of like a little sizzle of like the behind the scenes of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's from the documentary.
Oh, okay. It's just like a little snippet of the doc.
It's like it's like a snippet of the doc. But so that same heart that was into that piece is like throughout the whole documentary.
Nice.
And it's actually really cool. It starts from the concept to completion, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I should definitely check that out. I don't know why I haven't watched any of that yet.
It's really cool, and plus the little mini features too. They have like one on just BB-8, they're like small things, but
Yeah.
it's cool, man. It's like it's awesome that they added all that to. They could have, being Disney, a large company, they could have just put the movie on there and still made the same amount of money.
Yeah, exactly. And then been like, all right, pay twice as much in like 4 months when we'll release the better version, and you'll rebuy the movie.
Yeah, exactly. So I was happy to see that on there.
Totally.
Did you? So you just did a bunch of rewatches? You didn't?
I watched a few things. I watched Nasty Baby. Have you heard of this movie?
I have not.
It's the new. I think it's Sebastian Silva, the guy who did Magic and Crystal Fairy and the Magical Cactus or whatever it's called.
I feel like I've heard his name before.
Yeah, and he also did The Maid, which was like a big independent movie.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd seen Crystal Fairy that has Michael Cera in it, and I liked it, so I was pretty excited to watch Nasty Baby. It has Kristen Wiig, and then he stars in it, and it also stars the main guy from the band TV on the Radio.
Uh-huh.
And it's about the director and the guy from TV on the Radio are a gay couple who want to have a baby, and Kristen Wiig is like gonna have it for them basically, and she's like really good friends with the main character who's the director. And yeah, the trailer makes it seem start like kind of like indie rom-com standard fare, and then it gets super wild and it's just going nasty baby and like cutting to the title card, and it looks real dark. So I was excited because I like weird movies basically, and it looked like a weird one.
Hey Zach, you like weird movies? I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, for sure. But it didn't. It just did not do it for me at all. Basically.
Oh, okay.
It was a thing where everything was improv, and I know he's been liking to. I don't know if Magic was like that or The Maid. I haven't seen those, but Crystal Fairy was all improv, but it was like a bunch of druggies going to do like a magic cactus in the desert, so it works in that regard. Not that like Kristen Wiig was obviously good in it, and also supernatural and trying. It didn't seem like she was like overtly trying to be funny, which was really nice. But
Gotcha.
it just it starts and it's just a movie about like trying to adopt this baby, and honestly, if it just stayed that way, it would have been way better. Like in the trailer, I was like, nice, they're gonna subvert this. It looks like garbage and standard, but then it gets interesting. And in fact, just like the standard stuff just about the gay couple was more interesting than like what they were trying to bring in, because you think the terror is going to come from the baby somehow, and it's just this completely other storyline that doesn't really have anything to do with anything. And then there's this other storyline of him making this art piece called Nasty Baby that was also interesting on its own, but didn't really meld with the other things. So it was like 3 stories that like could have been okay if they just decided to make that movie, but they decided to make like 3 different movies at the same time, and then it's just like, why am I watching these 3 different movies?
Yeah, perhaps overly ambitious,
or just uncertain,
Yeah.
It's like they didn't know what they wanted it to be.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting. Well, I love Kristen Wiig.
Yeah,
so.
she's super good in it. All the acting is really good. I didn't love the director, but he was good. He was not bad, But Kristen Wiig's great. It's on Amazon Prime. That's how I watched it. So
Oh, cool. I might check it out then.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. You know, it's at least interesting, but it's not what I wanted. I think I'd say.
I gotcha. I'm looking up something that I saw. Oh, right, here it is. Did you ever see Welcome to Me?
Yeah, I did with Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I like how she's doing experimental, like, indie films right now.
Yeah, just trying to do something a little different.
Yeah,
than the standard big budget comedy.
Yeah.
It's cool. She's doing well too. And I also say, like, out of this movie and that movie, I liked Welcome to Me better, but I'd say her performance is still probably the best part. And that of this movie, her performance is the best part too, which is good.
She's a good actress.
Yeah, she's super good.
Going back to what was it, Magic Fairy? That's what it's called.
Crystal Fairy.
I remember Crystal Fairy. I remember reading an article about that, and I just never got a chance to watch it.
Yeah.
I'd love to check it out sometime though.
Yeah, I like that one. It was it's not like super fantastic. You can tell it's just like a bunch of people that were like, let's go here and make a film, But that's kind of what's cool about it.
Right. Okay. Respectable.
Yeah, so it's like you can definitely tell it's all improv and they're just, out there doing it, but I feel like that's it's a good thing to do. More people should do that,
I agree.
Film can be whatever.
Exactly. Very cool, man. I actually, 2 movies I'm going to talk about were on my list for last time, but we just didn't get to them because we had so many. But I watched a double feature a while back, a John Wayne double feature.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was kind of in the mood for westerns, and side note, I rewatched Hateful Eight too. So.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Which was a great rewatch.
Yeah, holds up well.
Holds up. But yeah, so I watched The Searchers and True Grit, the original True Grit.
Nice.
And it's cool. I think I like the newer True Grit better. Just because it took those central themes that were created in the original and just really built upon that and like made the characters stronger, and there some scenes were completely different. Like there's one scene in the original in True Grit, it's kind of like a shootout scene, and it was shot during the daytime in the original, but in the remake, the Coen Brothers remake, it's at night, and I feel like that was more effective, for instance. So stuff like that, I feel like it was improved. The Searchers is a movie that it doesn't really quite hold up to today, but it's something I grew up with. It's a movie I grew up with my dad. We used to watch it, and it's just like a classic western,
Yeah.
So it was still entertaining.
Yeah, I really like The Searchers. I haven't seen it
do too.
in a few years, but I remember the last time, I got the Blue. The last time I watched it, I was all about it.
Yeah, I've just bought the Blue, so I'm glad I have it. And it's just, it's some good classic westerns,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So there you go.
What else do I got? Oh, I have one from last time that I didn't get to talk about, which is, have you ever seen The Swimmer?
No.
Man, you gotta check out The Swimmer.
Yeah?
It's a movie with Burt Lancaster. Let me see what year it came out. But, 1968.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved this movie. It is so good. It just starts Burt Lancaster swimming in this pool at his friend / neighbor's house. And they're talking about how this other family in the neighborhood got a pool. And Burt Lancaster just was walking. It's in California, so there's they're up on this side of this hill, and he can see the whole valley or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just like, they got a pool now? I bet I could swim home from here. They're like, what? He's like, I could swim home from here. Think about it. Swim in this pool, go down to their pool, and just comes up with this idea how he can swim home. And then the whole movie is him doing it.
Swimming from pool to pool?
Yeah, he just like walks to the pool, swims through it, and then gets up and like walks to the next pool. But there's all these like strange sort of surreal sequences, like he's talking. It's basically like each pool he goes to is like another almost like set piece thing where he's like talking to a new character. And it's like, when is this actually happening? Like, is this like a weird flashback thing with this character? You know, it's a very strange feeling. Super interesting movie. Really liked it a lot.
Especially for the time, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's very strange. The tagline I thought was funny, which was, "When you talk about the swimmer, will you talk about yourself?" But yeah,
Interesting.
Just a real interesting movie, just because the central idea is so funny. And it's such a funny idea to be like so steadfastly committed to, as this character is. You know, it's just like, everyone's like, "What are you doing here?" Because he just like stumbles into parties just like in like a Speedo, you know? It's like, "Well, I'm swimming home." And just like scenes of him like in someone's yard, like he's like, "Well, I thought I'd take a dip." And they're like, "What?" Like, well, and he's
why?
Like offended that like people like aren't just okay with him swimming in their pools. But it's like, dude, you don't just like walk into someone's pool and just start swimming and be like, "Well, I'm taking a dip. What's the big deal?" Like,
I'm on my way home.
Yeah, I'm swimming home. But
that's interesting.
Even as goofy as I'm making it sound, it is like serious and like very good. But there's some funny stuff in there, for sure.
Like what's the point of him like trying to do this? Just, is he trying to send a message, or is he just decided to do it?
It seemingly is just he decides to do it. But I also don't want to say too much, because I feel like it's a movie that like is nice to experience, you know.
Okay.
About like what the actual like sequences are of him talking and whatnot.
Okay.
But
fair enough.
Yeah, it's out on Blu-ray. The company Grindhouse Releasing put it out, which is really interesting because it's nothing like any of the. They like put out like Cannibal Holocaust and like Pieces recently, and all this, The Beyond, and then The Swimmer, which is really funny. But
yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely check it out. It's really, really good. I liked it a lot. Super weird.
Sounds like it. Okay, that's cool. I'd never heard of it, but I'll look out for it.
I hadn't either. My friend Scott, who is big into he's the guy who did sound on Meathead, and he's big into Grindhouse Releasing, so he had it. We watched it.
That's cool.
Yeah, real interesting.
Very cool, man. I checked out a show, a somewhat popular show right now. I watched the first 2 episodes of the Starz show Outlander.
Oh, how's that?
I wasn't a fan.
No good?
I wasn't a fan. For one, it's really popular right now, so I want to check it out. My dad is actually really into it. Mm-hmm. The concept alone made me want to watch it, which is, it's about this woman, and she's a nurse in 1945, and her and her husband go like on a holiday to like this rural town in Scotland, just for like a bed and breakfast weekend getaway. And they're a very happy married couple, and they start to explore some castles and all this stuff, and it's all is well until she like comes across this circle of ancient stones, and it takes her back in time to.
I knew that was coming. Time travel show.
Yep, back to the 1700s, to where it's like the Brits versus like the Scots, and so like that kind of caught my interest, because like that sounds cool. Yeah. Plus, it kind of deals with like paganism a little bit, so, and I like that kind of stuff. So I was like, that's cool. It just didn't quite jive with me, because it's very romance heavy, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's like borderline cheesy, you know.
Yeah, and also like romance heavy movie, fine. Show that isn't necessarily intended to be romance heavy, and you're watching it every week, and it is. I can see that getting, you know.
Yeah,
getting a little tedious.
It just got a little borderline cheesy with like. It's very romance novel. It's actually based off a series of novels. So, wasn't a fan, but thought the concept was cool.
Yeah.
May jive with some other people, but wasn't for me. So I stopped.
Yeah. I get you.
My rule of thumb is if I don't like the show after like 2 or 3 episodes, I'm done because there's just too much content now. You know what I mean?
No, totally. For sure.
Like there's so many. It's like a happy, sad thing too because it's like I'm actually complaining about there's so much good television to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Like there's so much good television out there, and it's almost to the point where you'll never watch it all. You know?
Yeah, you can't. If you started now, you wouldn't do it. You die.
You can't.
Like,
yeah, and if you ever got through anything like right now, there's new stuff coming out all the time, so you just would never catch up.
yeah, exactly.
So it's an interesting time we live in.
yeah.
But speaking of television, I rewatched the last season of Game of Thrones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I like to. It's kind of just like a tradition of mine. I rewatch the season right before the new one.
Mm-hmm.
And not much to say other than great show.
Yeah,
Can't wait for the new one.
I started rewatching it. I think I'm like 3 or 4 in. Because I never finished the last season for some reason.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, I'm like 3 episodes. I didn't see like the last 3 or 4. So
oh, it's so good, dude.
I restarted. It was like a thing where Cassie, my girlfriend, and I watched it together, and then there was like 1 week where like I couldn't watch it, and I was like, "Oh, go ahead and watch it," and then I never watched it until the next one was on. So then she watched that one, and then I was like, "Well, I got to watch 2 episodes before this one. Now I'm watching 3 hours at a time," you know.
Right.
Then it just
I gotcha.
Just never happened.
Well, you should try and get on that before Sunday.
Oh, it's Sunday?
New season comes out this week.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
So wait, does that mean also Veep and Silicon Valley start on Sunday?
Yes, sir.
Nice. HBO's out of control. Also, is John Oliver continuing on Sunday?
Yeah. Well, I don't know actually because I guess that might be taken over by Veep now.
But I didn't hear him say anything on the last episode. But then, like, is there going to be 2.5 hours of, like, solid HBO television every week? Because that's going to be great.
I think it might be.
Yeah. Also, when does Vice Principals start? Do you know?
I don't know.
Have you heard about the show?
The HBO show?
Yeah.
I don't think I have, actually.
It's the new show from Jody Hill and Danny McBride. And
that's amazing.
Danny McBride and Walton Goggins star in it. The guy, he's just in Hateful Eight, you know?
Okay, yeah.
So I'm pretty excited for that because I love me some Danny McBride and Jody Hill, and it's been a long time since Eastbound ended. You know, I'm craving it.
Yeah, there's no set date yet. Oh, it says July.
July. Damn it.
Yeah.
I was like,
so
is
Game
there
of
going
Thrones
to be
will
3
be over.
hours? Like 3 hours
Yeah.
of solid television?
Seriously.
2.5 is still really good, though, so not too upset.
I mean, honestly, just having 2 back-to-back amazing shows of Silicon Valley and Game of Thrones, like, I love Silicon Valley.
Yeah, it's great. What about Veep, though? Do you like Veep?
I like Veep, but I'm way behind. I haven't watched any of it in order, so
Oh, okay.
I usually kind of turn it off at that point because I just don't know what's going on. But every once in a while, like, I watch an episode, and what I've seen, I like. I don't know what's going on, you know?
Yeah, it's really funny. I'm a big fan.
I mean, I like Julia Dreyfus a lot.
Yeah, she's great. She's great. Yeah, Silicon Valley's great too. I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's a good show. HBO, man, they're killing it. They're
doing a
killing
good
it.
job. Doing a good job.
Oh yeah, so you gotta finish those last few episodes of Game of Thrones, and then you'll be caught up. It's Sunday night. Whew, kick back, dude. Enjoy.
The 3-hour block.
That's right. And I love Last Week Tonight too. I always watch that too.
Did you see the last one with Sesame Street?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I was bummed though because I guess Girls ran long and my DVR cut off the end of the Sesame Street bit.
Oh no.
So I was like, this is so good. I am loving this Sesame Street stuff. We got Elmo on here. This is amazing. And then it just ended. And I was like, no, damn it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. You didn't miss much. That's pretty much the end there, right there.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But yeah. Anyways, that concludes what I've been watching.
Let's see.
Got anything else?
Oh, I watched Enemy with Jake Gyllenhaal. The Denis
How was that?
Villeneuve, whatever. Sicario.
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it. There's some weird like spider imagery that I guess like some surreal stuff that while was like looked cool and was visually interesting, I don't know if I get what he was going for with it.
Right.
But I liked it though. It was a good movie. And I feel like there's like a very easy watchability to his movies.
For sure.
That even though or what'd you say?
No, sorry. Continue.
I was just gonna say, even though I feel like his movies aren't like always super fast paced, they're like kind of slow. But they're just very easy to watch for some reason. I don't know.
There's something about him you can't really quite look away.
Yeah.
And the same goes for his other movie that I watched because I haven't seen Enemy, but Prisoners.
Yeah, totally. I watched Prisoners.
Oh, you did watch it?
Yeah, maybe that was one on the last episode that I didn't have time to talk about. Or maybe I just didn't put it on my list. I think I just haven't transcribed it to the list. Actually, I forgot. But yeah, I watched Prisoners also.
What'd you think of Prisoners?
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's a solid. I'd say it was maybe my least favorite out of the three that I've seen.
Okay.
But all three are really good. So it's really not not knocking it at all because they're all, super good movies.
Yeah, fair enough. I need to see Enemy. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, it's solid, man. It was also on Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime. That's how
I do, but I don't utilize it nearly as much as I should. I should check that out.
I just started, which is why I was watching all these movies on it. I was because they got some good stuff on there.
They do.
But yeah, Prisoners is great. I liked Paul Dano in it a lot. I like Jakey G,
Yeah, I forgot Paul Dano. Yeah. Good stuff.
The scene where he lifts up the dog is on the collar.
So crazy.
That one hurt. I was just like, oh man, that one hurt, as opposed to the numerous scenes where they torture him.
Yeah.
But still, violence against dogs in movies.
Oh, it's crazy.
What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Well, before I get to what I was gonna say, I feel like dog violence it's just utilized way too often. It's like a very common thing that happens. Like it's always used as like a plot device. The dog's loose outside. We know it's gonna die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it happens all the time. It's actually starting to annoy me now. Like when I see it in movies now.
Like any type of thriller, like scary
or horror
movie. Yeah, or especially horror movie. It's like you see a dog. It's like that dog will die. Like that dog is going to be dead.
It's gonna be the first thing that dies.
Yeah. And everyone's gonna feel way more affected than if any of the people died.
Exactly. But what I was gonna say, I'm not gonna spoil it, but the ending of Prisoners was kind of crazy.
Yeah, totally. Very crazy.
Whoa. So, all right, good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. Good
biz. All right, my friend. Shall we move to Midnight Special, our premiere review?
Yes.
All right, here we go. The review for Midnight Special starts right now.
What do you know about Alton Meyer?
He would have fits.
Things would break. Cars would shut down, that kind of thing.
Others have described seeing things. Did he show you things?
Yes.
What kinds of things?
I wouldn't know where to start. We need to know where he is.
what you're dealing with, do you?
So that was from the trailer of Midnight Special, the new film by Jeff Nichols. It's getting pretty decent reviews on Metascore as well as on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics seem to like it. Brief plot summary is, quote, "A father and son go on the run, pursued by the government and a cult drawn to the child's special powers," end quote. And it stars Michael Shannon, Joel Edgerton, Kirsten Dunst. And it's in limited theaters right now. Zach, you saw this, unfortunately, a lot longer ago than me. I saw it more recently.
Like early March.
It took a while to get over here, and it's still not everywhere.
But also, when I saw it, it wasn't out in Chicago, technically. I got tickets to, like, a pre-screening thing, so...
Sure. Yep. Fair enough. So, what are your thoughts on the film? General thoughts?
I like it. I thought it was good. I'd say, in terms of Jeff Nichols' filmography, that I probably liked it about as much as Mud.
Okay.
Maybe slightly less, but, like, very slightly.
Mm-hmm.
And,
do you like Mud? Out of, like, the top 3 of his films that people know about, do you like Mud the most?
I feel like, well, was there something between Mud and Take Shelter?
No, it was Take Shelter, Mud, then Midnight Special.
I'd say I like Take Shelter the most. Probably Shotgun Stories, his first movie after that, and then Mud. So I guess it's like Midnight Special is my least favorite of his movies, but that's really not saying much because all his movies are super good. So
he's got a pretty decent lineup of films.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's slightly better than Mud. I'd have to rewatch it again. I haven't seen Mud in a while either, too. But. What about you? What'd you think?
I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot, actually.
Yeah, it's
awesome. A lot more than I thought I would like it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I would dislike it, but I'd kind of heard that it was, some people were disappointed by the ending, which we'll get into later, obviously, and yeah, some people were just disappointed and thought it was like too weird, and I disagree with that. I didn't think it was that weird.
I didn't think it was weird at all, or not like,
to, like,
too weird at all. There was some
right
weird stuff. But.
Yeah, but it's like, well, especially for the movies we typically watch. I mean, it's not weird. It wasn't weird to me at all. It was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And I mean, I liked some of the callbacks that it had to some of those classic 80s sci-fi films.
Yeah, totally.
But also had its own spin on it as well. And I thought it was really well executed. Some of the scenes were very, very solid. Especially the beginning, first like 10 minutes, I was like, I'm so into this movie.
Definitely. The opening of that movie is really great.
It's great. It reminds me of like that moment that we had kind of like, this is the first thing that comes to mind, but like Dark Knight, when that first scene happens, and you're like, oh yeah, this is going to be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
That's what I got from this. I was like, oh great. I love when a movie starts with, you're right in the middle of the shit. You know?
Yeah, totally.
So I liked that about it. As for the movies where it lines up for me and as other films, I think I'd probably agree with you. I haven't watched Shotgun Stories. So I guess it'd be third for me, but not that it's saying anything.
Yeah, it's like it get like a couple decimal points lower than Mud.
Right. It's still very decent, and I thought it was interesting. I read something about how he wanted to play with, like, he wanted to experiment with like narrative as a concept, and you can kind of see that, like, it's very not your typical narrative film at all.
Totally. I also heard that they cut out like a lot of the exposition. Like, there are a lot of scenes of them talking about what they're doing and like giving all this backstory, and that they just like chopped it all out of the movie, which, like, hell yeah, didn't need it.
You don't need it, and I kind of like that it was, you don't know everything, and that, you know, everyone's kind of just, they don't know what the answers are. That's what makes the kids so special, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And I don't know. It was interesting. I did like it a lot. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good. All the performances are good. Obviously, Michael Shannon.
Love Michael Shannon.
Great.
Joel Edgerton, he's been
Yeah.
doing some good stuff lately.
And I'm not like, it's not like I dislike Joel Edgerton, but it's just like, he's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I thought he was really good in this movie. I liked him a lot. The kid was also good.
The kid was great. Yeah, I thought he was very impressive, actually. Good acting for a kid his age,
Yeah.
And I liked Adam Driver in it too.
Yeah, he's great. Kirsten
I will
Dunst, or you go first.
I was just gonna go into some complaints that I had about it. I had not a lot, but I had some, just a couple things. I kind of feel like Kirsten Dunst's character, although she played the emotion well, she didn't have much to say, and I don't think that she necessarily served a purpose.
That's literally what I was about to say. Like, Kirsten Dunst,
Okay.
acting-wise, she did good with what she had. It just seemed like there wasn't enough for her to do.
Yeah, there wasn't. She was kind of just around most of the time,
Yeah.
She didn't
And it's just
didn't really serve the story.
Yeah, and it's kind of a bummer when, like, literally the only female character in the movie just, like, isn't really doing anything.
Yeah, totally.
So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, so they should have given her more. In fact, I thought it kind of applies to a lot of the characters too. It was like even Michael Shannon. I thought there'd be some bigger acting moments with him. He was not that he was bad. He was great, but there was no real like.
It doesn't.
No scene that rose from the rest of the movie that was like, wow, Michael Shannon had a really big part of this cast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no scene like the scene in Take Shelter where he freaks out at, like, the potluck.
Right.
Because that scene is so intense where he's like, a storm's coming! Like,
That scene is so crazy.
Yeah, there's no scene like that in this movie. But, that's okay.
Yeah. These are all minor things. And I'll get more into spoilers because you really don't want this movie spoiled for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, just go. I loved how it was kind of like a road trip movie,
Totally.
and they were constantly on this journey, trying to get to this one place for this kid, and it kind of speaks, volumes about, as like symbolically about being a parent.
Oh, yeah, it's totally just, like, all about being a parent.
Oh yeah, it's like trying to get. You'll do whatever it takes for your kid to get them to this point in their life, being like adulthood, symbolically. Getting them to that point and then hoping that they just make the right decision. And you may never see them again, you may, who knows what's going to happen. It's out of your control at that point.
Yeah,
but you'll do everything you can to get them there, that's what it was. And Michael Shannon's character, that's what he was dedicated to. He believed in his son so much that he sacrificed everything that he could to get to that point. So
yeah, definitely.
I also sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
I also really enjoyed the score.
Yeah, the score was good.
It wasn't. It was just very atmospheric.
Yeah,
it fit the movie well.
Totally.
And the visual effects were great.
Yeah, they're super good.
Very good visual effects.
Yeah, it's just it's classy. It's not very showy, The end scene, it gets maybe a little showy, but not like
Right.
It's never like jerking off, It's not like, oh, look at all this crazy stuff, It's pretty understated, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good for its budget too. It's a smaller movie.
Yeah.
It's done really well. I really liked it. In fact, now that we're talking about it, I'm excited to watch it again. I'm definitely gonna buy it on Blu-ray.
Yeah. I'd say it's worth picking up. I like all this guy's movies. It's really good, and I like the sort of I don't personally enjoy Mud or this as much as his like really personal like Take Shelter and Shotgun Stories type stuff. But also I like that he's doing genre movies, but doing them his way. And they're super specific to his style, but they're also like completely different from each other, you know? And it's
totally different. Yeah.
And he's also not like a director like, I don't know. It's just the style isn't necessarily something that's easily seen, I guess. Like David Lynch's style, you could spoof very easily and be like, well, he does this, this, and this, you know? Mm-hmm. But I feel like he just has a real nice, once again, kind of understated, like, just a guy trying to make cool flicks, man. You know, like...
Yeah, totally. He just wants to make good cinema for himself, too. It's really what it seems.
Yeah, totally. Because, did I tell you he was at the screening I was at?
No, that's amazing.
Yeah, him and Joel Edgerton were there. It was really funny.
That's cool.
Because before the screening, they're like, yeah, stick around. Jeff Nichols is going to be here after. And, you know, another guest is going to be here as well. Like, you know, but don't want to disclose that quite yet. And Sean came with me. We looked at each other like, Michael Shannon's here. Oh, my God, it's Michael Shannon. There's like, okay, it's Joel Edgerton. Like, he's still cool. Like, this is fine. But, like, I was really excited for Michael Shannon.
Oh, I love Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, and Joel Edgerton was cool too. He seemed like a nice guy, down to earth guy.
That's cool,
Talking
man.
about the movie. But yeah, Jeff Nichols, he talked a lot about like how he was having a kid, and
right,
that this movie's like the product of that, and also I don't know, just that basically what I was saying before, that he's just like trying to make cool movies that like relate to people. And like have characters that are like actual people in them, you know?
Yeah, like actual people.
Yeah.
Which I totally noticed about, you know, Kirsten Dunst. Not, it sounds bad to say, but she wasn't like prettied up. She wasn't dolled up like she usually is. She looked she looked like a real person, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And I liked that. I liked that a lot about her character.
Yeah, for sure.
What'd you think about the title? What does that say to you?
I don't know, not really much. It kind of just seemed like that's one of my qualms. Just like, why'd you call it this?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't. Other than he has to be, well, most of the movie he's at like traveling at night. So
yeah,
I guess that's it. I don't know. I wasn't crazy about the title.
A boy, and they travel at night. Maybe there's some nostalgic connection with the song Midnight Special that somehow personally makes sense to him. But yeah, that was the thing that like I don't necessarily know if it earned that title, but it also didn't.
Yeah.
It also didn't try to earn it like in the movie. It's just like the title of the movie, which is okay. You know.
Right. It's just the title.
So, yeah, I wasn't not crazy about it, but you know, not a huge thing.
The title card, though, was spot on.
Oh, yeah, real nice.
Real nice.
One thing that I will say I was disappointed by is Sam Shepard just, like, drops off the movie completely.
Yeah.
He's in the beginning, and I was like, man, where's this character going to go? This is really cool. Like, I like this whole side of the movie. And then it's just kind of like his henchman the rest of the time.
Yeah.
And he's just never seen again and, like, never really wrapped up and just, like, never referenced. But...
yeah, maybe that's part of the stuff they cut out, or I don't know. It kind of seemed like a wasted character.
Yeah, it's like they introduced this whole cult angle, and then it's never really, like, followed up on. And you are kind of just more concerned with their journey at that point, and, I don't know. It just seems like that should have been a little more part of the story.
I agree. I kind of wish he had a little bit more involvement. Maybe with the guys from the cult that were pursuing them. Maybe he could have been a part of that, you know?
Yeah. Because it's like, it's Sam Shepard. Like, I'm expecting him to be in this movie now that you showed him, you know?
Not to mention, I don't think this is a spoiler, but he's the leader of the cult, but also he's the adopted father of the kid, right? And that's like spoken in the beginning of the movie. So it's like, I feel like he had a pretty decent role to play, you know?
Yeah, totally.
I don't know.
It's yeah, it's a little weird. I don't get why you don't even just cutting to him at the end and just like giving some sort of like
Some kind of closure, some kind of wrap up.
yeah, like what is, because obviously this is all around, like what's the cult's reaction to this entire other world, you know, like I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so it sounds like we both pretty much liked it. There were some things we didn't, but we'll talk more about that coming up in spoilers. So let's move on to spoilers then.
Yeah, spoiler city, I guess.
All right, let's do it.
It's okay. It's okay.
Let's go. Move it, move it, move it.
What if Alton doesn't belong with us?
You don't know that.
That's remarkable. I know where they're going.
He believes in something.
Good people die every day believing in things.
You don't have to worry about me.
I'll always worry about you, Alton. I like worrying about you. That's the deal.
It's okay. I know why I'm here.
Spoiler Town. So, what do you think of the ending?
Refresh me on like the very, very ending, like the cut to
Okay.
black ending.
Let me just. Oh, okay. Let me start kind of the beginning of the ending here.
Okay.
And go through it. So they're in the car. They're going to the location that
Yep.
they need to go to, and they drop the kid and the mom get out of the car and they go towards this place in the woods, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Shannon and Jill Egerton spin off, like, go off
yeah,
and
in that
get
big
pursued
car crash.
by the military. The car crashes, and Kirsten Dunst and the kid, unveil this city, this extra dimensional city, and then we'll go through more details to that later. But the very ending is the wrap up of the kid is gone. Kirsten Dunst she's dyeing her hair. She's escaped.
Okay,
But
yeah.
Joel Egerton is confronted by Adam Driver's character, who for some reason pretends to not know him.
Yeah.
And then the last shot is Michael Shannon in chains, and he's kind of just standing outside, and he looks up into the sky, and there's like a flicker of blue light in his eyes, and it cuts to black.
Mm.
So that's the ending.
Yeah, I remember this now because at the screening, someone asked just like one of those questions. Like, so at the end, like, was that like a light in his eye? Like he was like the same thing as the kid? And the director's like, I don't know. Did you see the light in the eye? And he was like, yeah. And then a few other people went like, yeah, yeah. And he's like, who saw it? And like about half of the people saw it and half of the people didn't. I personally didn't register the light in his eye.
Some people didn't see it. Yeah, I know some people who didn't see it.
Which is an
I saw
interesting
it.
thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know, think whatever you want, man. I'm not going to tell you, like, yes. Like...
That's cool. I respect that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the attitude he had for the whole movie, which that's fine. You don't need to tell me everything. I like that. And
yeah, for sure.
that's fine. But, yeah, but what did you think of the ending? Did you like how it wrapped up? Did you...
I remember thinking it was maybe, like, a little quick.
Yeah.
And just kind of, like, tying everything up. Mainly because, like, what's going on with this cult, you know? The cult
Yeah.
thing, I think, my biggest problem with the movie. That, like, I just really wanted to know more about that because there's an entire group of people that are, like, following this kid, you know? And that's a super interesting concept that's, like, not developed at all.
Very cool concept, but you do get a sense throughout the movie that, okay, which basically you get some stuff of the narrative throughout little conversations, but the fact that this cult, I kind of got the sense that basically Michael Shannon and Kirsten Dunst had the kid, and they were at the ranch. They were part of the cult, and the people were like, "Holy shit, this kid has powers! It's got to be like the Messiah." Yeah. And so they start worshiping the kid, and he basically gets forced adopted out, so the preacher can raise him as like his Messiah, and they start to worship the kid, and then Kirsten Dunst escapes, and then Michael Shannon's finally like, this is not right, and he's meant for more. So Michael Shannon takes the kid, and that's where the movie kind of starts. It's like they're chasing him. But yeah, like the fact that they like worship this kid is a very interesting concept. But they don't quite like what happens with them, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
because I like the scene. Isn't there some scene where they're asking him about like the scripture and what it means? And he's just like, I don't know, like, ask the kid. Like, yeah, which is like, that's interesting. They're just like, he's just spouting off this stuff, which ends up just being the radio, right?
It ends up being, like government signals that the kid's just picking up, and the people are translating that into like biblical messages from God, basically.
Yeah.
That's what they think it is.
I would have liked that to have been explored quite a bit more.
Yeah, they could have gone a little deeper with that. It's a very cool concept.
Yeah, and also it's like, the movie didn't need to be longer, but I could have stood for it to be longer. Like, I wouldn't have mind watching it for 10 more minutes if it meant 10 more minutes of that story, you know?
Yeah, because you kind of get a little bit in the beginning, then it doesn't really address it again.
Yeah.
However, that scene with those guys from the cult kind of pursuing them, and then when they come out of that hotel room, was one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, it's great.
It was just like, that was just awesome.
And I love
they come in, they kidnap the kid, and then they're just like, there's nothing that Michael Shannon can do, which was very good acting on his part. When he's like, and he's just, you could tell he's just so angry that he has absolutely no power in the situation. I thought that was really cool. Yeah,
it was great. And I love the bald guy that works for them, that actor.
Yeah.
That guy is amazing.
I think I'm seeing is that Bill Camp.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, this guy's good. I like this guy.
He was cool. He was good in the movie. Then he gets shot in the belly, and he's like, it's crazy. I do like how that was kind of resolved in a very realistic way later on, because they chase after him, right? They chase after him, and they end up at this check stop where there's all these police and the
yeah.
So they go through the line, but they don't want to. Although kind of silly, Michael Shannon's covered in blood, but the police don't say anything. They're just like, go on, move on.
yeah.
But they go past, and then up ahead they like see the car that the kid was in that got like kidnapped in, and then they like drive by, and there's like the blood from the guy who got shot, and like the sheet that they put over the kid, and they're gone, they're missing, and they're just like, fuck. They just keep driving naturally past it. It's like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that scene's good. Scene's real good. Or wait, does the kid have some like adverse thing to sunlight?
Yeah, so this is one of the things too I think I have a problem with. Some things that aren't explained to its fault, which is, okay, so they have to travel at night, right? Because for some reason the kid is like allergic to light or something, sunlight.
So is that explained in the movie? I don't really remember.
It's not explained at all.
Okay.
It's not explained at all. So the kid's slowly dying throughout the movie because they need to get him to this point, but they don't really know why he's dying. He just needs to get there. And the kid's finally like, Dad, I need sun. It needs to happen. Just let me do it. And that's when him and Michael Shannon are like in the cave.
I remember this now.
Yeah, he takes the kid out, and then they see the sun rise, and the kid starts like having convulsions, and the light starts going everywhere, and he's like having his power surge, and then it cuts to Kirsten Dunst and Joel Edgerton like sleeping in a hotel room, and they hear the knock at the door, and they're like, oh, it's still daylight. They go up to the door, and it's Michael Shannon, the kid, and he's completely fine. He looks not sick anymore. He's fine.
Yeah.
And he just like undoes the like cardboard on the windows and just has the sun on him, and they just accept it, like now he's okay. So I don't really know why he couldn't have sunlight before.
Yeah.
Maybe because he had those convulsions and then they just like didn't want him to go through it, or what?
Yeah, I don't really get that. That was a thing that like I get, and I'm all about stripping down all these, exposition scenes, but just having one line about it early on, you just go, okay, and just kind of accept
exactly. Like I feel like that's one thing that could have been explained that would have helped.
And it doesn't even need to be a huge scene. You could just work that into him and Joel and Michael Shannon talking. There's one line,
Exactly.
But also, I thought it was weird that I think if you're on the run and like technically a criminal, going to a cheap motel and like taping cardboard to the windows is a pretty big sign that like something sketchy is going on in that hotel room.
Yeah, it's like because you can see the cardboard from the other side.
Yeah, it's like why wouldn't they just have like drapes or like something to put over curtains? Because when there's just gonna be like dirty old cardboard on the window. I just thought that was kind of weird when you're trying to lay low.
It's like very obvious
cardboard, because then it's like, well, someone's hiding in there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can see it from the parking lot. It's like, oh, that's the room.
It's probably how the people found them.
It's probably how they found them. This is the room with the cardboard in it.
Well, all right. Well, they're at this hotel because there's their car, and there's a room with cardboard all over the windows. Like I guess that's it.
Exactly. That's really funny.
But yeah, not a huge thing. Just something I thought was kind of weird. It's like this is a little strange and convenient.
The movie has a lot of those little things. That could have been worked a little better, but that's fine.
Yeah,
There's some things you can forgive.
Totally. And maybe it was the thing that there was all this explained, and it was just in a scene that was 10 minutes long, and he was just like, this scene sucks, get it out of the movie,
Right.
And the movie could be better for it, but it just left me like with a few little, well, that was kind of weird, that's strange,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's not actually hardly anything is explained, like going back to the ending, okay? So the kid just knows to be here. Okay, that's fine. He has to be at these coordinates. Even though it seems the city's everywhere, he has to be here. Which, okay. So you accept that. He opens this portal to like this extra dimensional city, I guess. Which, by the way, is cool visually. Like these structures, and I thought the creatures themselves were very quintessential to like the Abyss. Do you remember? Do you ever see the Abyss?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
those creatures,
totally.
Those little aliens. That's what it reminded me of. And then he just, I guess he's fine. I guess he's able to go with them. And I do think it's cool that everyone's able to see like the structures. Everyone's like, holy shit.
Yeah,
like, this
that was
like
great.
affected.
Yeah, I liked that too.
But we don't really know if like, is he one of these like beings? Is he half human, half alien? Is he even like really even human at all? Or why does he have these powers? Why is he going to this place? Why does he need to go there?
Yeah. I don't know.
So I mean, the kid unleashes the city. Everyone sees it. But yet when it comes down to the questioning aspect of when Adam Driver and the other detectives are talking to Joel Edgerton, and he's like, this happened, like this is the story, I don't know what you want me to say. Why aren't they like they just choose to ignore that entire concept that there was this city that wasn't there, just appeared and then disappeared again. Like, they don't mention that. They're like,
Yeah.
I feel like that could have played a bigger role. Like, oh, we saw it too. Do you know what
Yeah.
this means? You
It's
know what I
just
mean?
Like, well, that must have just been some weird thing that these guys cooked up, because there's no way that's real. Like,
yeah, they just don't make it part of the investigation. It's not even like out of that. They just ignore it.
and
It's
also,
like,
what's with Adam Driver ignoring Joel Edgerton? Because there's like the whole thing where he's like, can I have your handcuffs or whatever, right?
right,
And he like puts
right.
on the handcuffs to pretend like he's. So it's like basically like, oh yeah, I added a bunch of charges to Michael Shannon and you in prison because I told him, you know, and now I'm just gonna pretend like I don't know you because I don't want to be implicated, and I will keep Michael Shannon in prison for more years for that reason. Seems kind of weird.
Yeah, especially since he wanted to join them. You know.
Yeah, it seemed like that was like the intention of that scene. It felt like it was a thing where he was like secretly helping him, being quiet, and like, you know, when they sit down and he's like, you know, says his name or whatever, and it's like, oh well, he's clearly not bringing up that they know each other. It felt like tonally in the movie like it was supposed to be almost like a good thing in a way.
Yeah.
And it's really not when you think about it. It's like Adam Driver's just being like real selfish and like not standing up for what he believes in a strange sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he just didn't want to be in trouble. You know, he just had to play the role, but it's like...
But also, shouldn't he be insanely fascinated that there's an alternate universe that has been proven? Like...
Yeah, especially since he experienced the kid's, like, vision, his eye light things, I guess, you know?
Yeah, it just seems like he would be...
And he already made that 360. He was like, I want to join. I will do it. He brought the kid to them, you know?
Yeah. That
So it's like,
scene didn't really sit well with me.
yeah, it didn't quite make sense for his character, you know?
Yeah. It's like, why is he so scared of admitting these things are real? Seems like he should just be like, fuck all you guys that I'm working with. I'm going to go figure out what this weird alternate... You know what I mean?
I feel like it would have been cooler if he was, like, just suddenly, like, an advocate for the kid, you know?
Yeah.
He was, like...
And trying to help
telling
him
the
not
government,
be in
being
prison.
like... Yeah, being like, look, this is... You guys are wrong about this, you know?
Yeah. That was weird. It was a weird ending to his character. I didn't like
He also had a lot of weird things, like the fact that he just like stared at this like whiteboard for a while and was like looking at the numbers, and he kind of circled a couple things, and he was like, I figured it out, and that's it. Like that, you don't know what he figured it out. Like I guess he figured out the coordinates, but they already knew that. Like they already had the coordinates down.
Yeah.
And it just cuts and never explains like what he figured out and like how he was able to do it so quickly. You know? Like,
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
it was weird. But I did think the scene with him like interviewing the kid was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that scene's great. Where the kid like the monitor flickers and then he like stands up and the video is him still sitting down. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah. Well, he comes into the room and he's standing, and both of them are standing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The kid just like stops the monitor and when he's sitting, and then stands up to show the difference that it's not real.
Yeah, it's a nice it was a cool little visual thing.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, and that the fact that like he calls him out in the crowd is kind of like, okay, that's the first sign that like this kid's no joke. Like
Yeah, totally.
this kid is pretty special.
Yeah. Like, I'd like to speak with whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But yeah, I mean, I can't really think of any complaints other than those.
Yeah, there's just a few things that are, you know, there's a lot that's not explained, which is fine, but there's also
Yeah.
stuff that's like, you can't use that as an excuse to just shoot fucking anything, like just shoot scenes and, oh, well, we don't have to explain anything, let's just shoot it, and it's part of the movie. It's like, well, you have to explain some things, like, as a narrative, as a movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Like, scenes have to make sense in a way.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is just I don't understand Adam Driver's the ending to his character at all. It just seems like, is he like trying to say that like, well, some people are just like selfish, or did I miss something, you know, where this is actually not the intention of this and I just missed it? I don't know.
I mean, I guess like when he dropped the kid off, then he handcuffed himself. Like he decided to go, okay, I'm just gonna pretend that this never happened.
Yeah.
And then just stuck with that. But it just didn't feel right when that happened. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like going to like a protest and then lying that you were at a protest. It's like, aren't you at the protest to like make a statement, and then you're just like gonna lie and say you weren't there, you know?
You're not actually making the statement at all.
Yeah, you're going back on what you were there to do. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, we don't really know if Joe Edgerton's like in the same prison as Michael Shannon, and why is Michael Shannon kind of chained up outside, like in the sun at the very end? And then you see the twinkle in his eye, and maybe they're trying to be like, okay, so maybe the son is reborn within him, or I mean, I think the intention there is obviously you have to make your own conclusion.
Yeah. Is it just a twinkle? Is it the same thing?
Did he unleash powers within everyone?
Yeah. It's a movie that I feel like the end isn't as satisfying because it's just all about the ride there.
Yeah.
It's all about the chase and getting him to the spot, you know, and that's what's fun about it.
Yep, that's exactly right. It's more about the journey.
Yeah, and it's like we're sitting here, and I feel bad, like, talking shit on this movie, because I did really like the movie, you know? But
yeah,
it's just,
I agree.
It's all about
I agree.
It's all about the trip and the journey to the spot.
Yeah, there's a lot going for this movie.
Definitely.
With that. And some execution of some of the scenes are very impressive, and yeah. So that all being said, I agree. I did really enjoy the movie, and I walked out of the theater being like, wow, I really liked that. I didn't understand some things, but I really, really liked it.
Yeah, for sure. So what are you gonna give it, or do you have more stuff to?
I would give this movie. I actually haven't thought about this because I usually think about this before we.
Yeah,
record.
I did too. I haven't thought about it either.
Huh. I did enjoy it, so I think I'd give it a 4. I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. I feel like I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10 if it was out of 10.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna go 4 because I feel like it's enjoyable. There's not that much that's wrong with it. It's just
right.
It is what it's aspiring to be. It's not aspiring to be the like masterpiece movie of the year. It's just like it's a chase movie.
Yeah, exactly. It accomplished what it wanted to do.
Exactly.
Which you can't fault it for that. There's not much, going against it if it's accomplished what it's trying to do, and that's what it did. So
yeah,
I give it a 4.5. And in fact,
ooh, you're going up to 4.5.
Oh, sorry. I actually did not mean to say that. I meant to say 4 out of 5.
I got
Sorry.
You. No worries.
But I wouldn't be surprised if this maybe made it on my top 10.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the year. It could. I don't.
Depends. Yeah. I get you.
It's up there. I did really enjoy it, and I respect it a lot. And it just the execution and the direction I think is like the main thing for me, and I really enjoyed the atmospheric music, and this I guess is what I wanted to get more into, was having that classic ending of like some of those Spielberg 80s movies and some of those other movies we kind of like grew up with, and it really invoked those ideas while still being its own thing.
Yeah, totally.
Obviously I have like sort of a connection to that, so but it was very modernized as well. So that being said, I did really enjoy it, and yeah.
Yeah, it's a solid movie. It's nothing that it's like, drop your plans, run out and see it right now, you know? But, I mean, I haven't seen Everybody Wants Some, but aside from that, I don't know what is necessarily better that's out right now.
Yeah. Honestly, I would seek it out in theaters because I was impressed also with the sound design.
Yeah, the sound design was really good.
The sound design was great, and I would, if you are interested in this movie, you should see it in theaters because of that.
For sure.
You know,
totally.
Also, get some love to the indies. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
I hate that they're just like, there's not a lot coming to Orlando now, and it really pisses me off.
Yeah, it's a bummer, man. It seems like these last few times we've been talking about what to see, it's just they're not coming through.
I know it's been a struggle over here because we've been trying. Last few episodes we've been like saying we'll record this one next. It just doesn't happen.
How's Everybody Wants Some looking? Is that coming anytime soon?
I think that's coming maybe sometime. I've looked and it's not around here right now, so
I get you.
I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Just curious.
I mean, I eventually want to see that too, but you know, we might have to move on to something else by then.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like I don't get it either because it's like Orlando has the Florida Film Festival, which is going on right now, and
yeah, anything good playing at that?
I haven't really looked into it. Actually, I've just been so busy, but
yeah,
it's almost over. But it's the fact that we have that,
yeah,
and we have Indion. I feel like we would just have more indies, but we don't. So,
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Anyways,
start your own theater and show the indies.
I should do that.
That's what you're gonna do, you know.
That's what we're lacking, you know. Someone's gotta do it.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, cool, man.
Cool. So I'm about to finish up my beer here.
Yeah, I am too.
Any last thoughts on yours?
I enjoyed it. It's good. I'm buzzed, which is nice. Close Encounter, Pipeworks, solid beer.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's a nice stout, because I feel like when I buy stouts, it's like, well, I'll drink one and then I'll drink one tomorrow and then I'll drink one the next. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I feel like if you're really craving a stout, but you're trying to drink a few beers, it would be one of the better ones to pick. It's a little lighter, a little more bitter. It's good.
There you go. There you go. I agree pretty much with mine. Rebirth from New Orleans, one of my favorite cities ever, because it's a pretty cool place. Good beer though, pale ale.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Tasty.
Gotta try it. Try it out.
Gotta try it out. So do we? I guess our next episode's gonna be on Captain America: Civil War, right? I mean, that's coming out.
Yeah, I suppose pretty soon.
Coming up real soon. So maybe that'll be our next one. And if everything works out, we might have a special guest.
Yeah. Nick Collins, director of Year of the Snake, is coming on, so that'll be fun. It's a good web series. Really... If anyone's listening, you can check it out and then listen to him when he comes on the show. Talk about it.
Perfect. What's that show called again?
It's called Year of the Snake.
You can find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? Cool.
I'm pretty sure just YouTube. Maybe Vimeo. Let me see.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. And that movie is actually getting pretty good reviews, which is, you know, I kind of, some people may hate on me for being a Marvel fanboy, but I mean, they're just so much better than what DC's doing right now. I'm sorry.
At least they're trying to have fun. I don't know. It's like, isn't the whole point of seeing a big blockbuster movie to like go to the movies and have fun? And I feel like I just was depressed when I left Batman Superman. I was just like, this is not fun at all. Like, it just, everyone's so fucking serious.
But even like the core concept of like these two superheroes fighting, right?
Yeah.
Same thing for both movies. but they're supposed to have two ideologies, like two separate ideologies.
Yeah, definitely.
And Batman vs Superman, they just had the same ideology, which is they just don't trust anyone, and they just want to beat each other up, for real no reason other than they're just threatened by each other. And then, but in Civil War, it seems like there's actual conflict there, but they also have a good, like, the movie's also about having a good time, and like kids can watch it, which is like superheroes are like kind of for kids, right?
Yeah, definitely. So you should probably make that available to them.
Yeah. So I'm curious.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I'm curious.
Should be fun.
Yeah.
I gotta watch. Or do I gotta watch Winter Soldier? I probably should watch Winter Soldier before I go see it, right?
You definitely should. Have you?
I haven't.
Are you caught up with any of the stuff?
No, I haven't seen Winter
on?
Soldier or the second Avengers.
You should watch both, honestly, if you want to know like what's going on.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I would say watch Captain America 2 first, then watch Avengers 2.
Okay.
Captain America 2 is my favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it.
It's really good, dude. But Avengers 2, it's a fun watch. It's nothing extraordinary.
Yeah.
But Captain America 2 is actually a really good movie.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the first Captain America, out of all the... Because I feel like I saw, not necessarily all, but most of the Phase 1 movies. And
Gotcha.
then I don't really think I've seen many of the Phase 2. But I felt like Captain America was one of the best ones. Or the best one.
If you like that one, then Captain America 2 is like, dude, head and shoulders above that movie.
Nice, cool.
It's a lot better. So, yeah, totally good. You should check them out.
Yeah.
Get prepared.
I'll watch them before the next one. Seems like I got some time, so.
Yeah, there you go. Cool, man.
Cool.
Well, let's wrap it up then.
Rip rap.
For those that are still listening, we have all of our episodes on iTunes, on Podomatic, and YouTube as well. So you can find us on there. And you can always email us at listentousrantaboutmovies@gmail.com. And you can follow us on Twitter at LTURAM podcast. And we'd love to hear from anyone. And that wraps it up for today. And you'll find us next time when we review Marvel's Captain America Civil War.
Should be a good time.
Good stuff. Good talking to you, Zachy boy.
Yeah, good talking to you, Wesley boy.
All right, take care. See ya.
Later, man.